What's up, YouTube? It's Dual Crazy coming at you with my very first brand new Maximum Crisis booster box opening. I literally just got home from picking these up. I actually picked up 6 of these things because this set is going to be hopefully really good. I've already heard people getting boxes with 0 secrets, so we're going to go for not getting that to happen. So hopefully we will get some really good pulls. Looking for those diagrams, the True King cards, and a couple of new Zodiac cards. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I know this set, everybody said mixed reviews. Some say it's a bad set, some say that it's good. I've been play testing with a build of the True Kings deck, and honestly, it plays really well. Uh, the fact that it tributes by its spells and traps means you don't necessarily have to run the same number of uh, monsters as you might normally do. Kind of where it differs a little bit from the Monarch build, because Monarch still play quite a few monsters, whereas the build that I've actually done was off of Team Samurai's build. He only basically ran like, I think, 8 or 9 monsters, but because you run so many of the spells and traps, you can basically just use them as cannon fodder for your tribute summons. And so without further ado, here's the first pack. So right there we got Balbaboon, Disciples, the Big Core, and our first super will be Spiral Sleeper. I've actually heard that that Spiral Sleeper is actually pretty decent. And then next, Phantasmal's Fire, True YuGiOh, Zephyra, and Phantasmal. Probably won't get too much into the comments because most people will be able to just look them up, or most people just watch videos just to see the holographic cards pop up on the screen. Definitely hoping to pull diagrams, because I know those are going to probably be the big money card for this set. So let's try and do it like this. Delirious might be a deck that I might try to build just for the half of it. Right off the bat, we have the Draith third, the True YuGiOh. That's pretty good. I don't know that this is a card that is actually running the True YuGiOhs, but it'll be interesting when I look at the card effects just to see. Still kind of getting used to the deck build itself. I know I've seen people running it with dinosaurs, and I've also seen people running the pure True YuGiOhs. I think both of them are going to be super powerful, to be honest. Just the fact they'll be able to compete against stuff like Paleo. They basically shut down Paleo. And the Fairy Tale Luna. Hammer Kong, which I'm actually going to look into, because that card, I've heard some people say that the Hammer Kong is really not that great. But I also heard from a couple other people on YouTube. Simu did a video on him where he actually went into a combo that you can make with it, where you essentially get to use him without having to actually ditch for his effect, from what my understanding is. Mild Turkey, and the Super King, and Magician's Left Hand, Phantasmals. So, probably just open this box right now. I'm going to try to get a new camera here soon, because I definitely hate the one I'm working with right now. As you can tell, I'm having to turn these cards around just to kind of let you guys be able to see what's actually there. This one's decent. The Waterfall of Dragon Souls. I think it works. If I remember correctly, I believe it works for True YuGiOhs. Yeah, but I definitely want to get a better camera because I hate having to flip my camera over. It's incredibly annoying to have to do that every time I make a video. Granted, it's like a shitty little $20 camera that's really not worth the 20 bucks. Predaplants are going to be pretty good. Cataroost. And first secret rare is Tornado Dragon. I actually like the way that this card looks, to be honest. And the fact that it's basically like an MST type monster means you can, and it's generic, so you can pretty much run this in just about any deck you want to run. So, at least it's not Zork, from what everybody said. I guess Zork's a really shitty card. Never actually seen it myself. So, but here's hoping we don't pull one. So far we pulled one secret and one ultra. We'll go from here. Lyris. One of the new Lyris cards too. It's interesting that they brought some of they've made slight additives to some of the other archetypes. They added that one new the ladybug or whatever she's called from the digital bug setup. Balbaboons. I'm actually kind of curious to see if these will drop now, because I know when they came out in the special edition for Raging Tempest, at their peak they were like $3 a piece for like a card that you basically just buy the special edition and you get that for free. So the fact that it's pretty good and it goes really well in some of the combos. Ignis Heat, one of the other True Draco cards. That's pretty good. I think that's actually one that you don't necessarily have to run, but some people might for the actual deck build. And off to the next pack. I definitely wanted to make sure I got as many boxes as I could pull off buying so that I could try to pull as much of the stuff as I wanted and needed, because I'm definitely looking for the Ash Blossom. A lot of people are just calling it Ghost Ash because it's in the same setup as, you know, Ghost Reaper and Ghost Ogre. That card is just incredibly powerful for what it can do. The fact that it basically can shut down the entire Zodiac combo, with the fact that it basically prevents your opponent from doing any of the combo parts of the combo that you really need to use for the combo, is really good. Cataroost. Another Waterfall. Might just build one of these decks just for the hell of it and see how it runs in an actual local tournament. One of the other things I'm definitely going to be doing with my channel once I can get a better camera is I am going to start posting videos a lot more frequently. I actually want to try to do featured series for set days. So stuff like deck profiles on maybe like a Monday, booster box openings on like a Thursday or something, and then I might do maybe something else for a third day and just start off from there, because this channel I definitely want it to grow. I definitely want to start adding more of you guys as viewers, get more subscribers, and start growing out the channel. I'm also going to try to see if I can include some of my friends at my locals, do some of their deck profiles. So if any of you guys that watch me from where I live here that go to my locals, if you guys want a deck profile featured, by all means let me know. True King Calamity, that's gonna be, I believe for that one you run, I think you run it at 2. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I've seen. I know you at least run 1. But on the other hand, my other understanding is that you can also run the build where it's kind of like the Domain Monarch, where you don't run an extra deck. It's just kind of an extension of it. Yeah, but I definitely want another True Draco. Definitely good, definitely good. Subterrors, also more support for those guys. It'll definitely be interesting to see where the card prices actually start out at. I know for pre-sale, Diagram was sitting at like $100, but of course that's pre-sale, and it's, you know, basically the card's been super hyped ever since the set was announced. The fact that it does so much also makes it another card that you want in your deck, because you definitely run that at 3. Um, and then the traps, I mean, the fact that you essentially can run 3 of each, and the spells, to basically just use them as tribute fodder for your True King stacks, make them actually pretty vital. Or not necessarily vital, but definitely worth running at least 2, if not 3. So, and I have no doubt that my locals will definitely be seeing a lot of people playing the True King. I know one of the things I find interesting is that when people do deck profiles for specific type of decks, like say when Blue Eyes was big, they would include stuff for your side deck for specific counters to decks, such as Metal Foe Zoo or Paleo and all that. And honestly, I know a lot of people will build their decks on that video. I've done that a couple of times myself. But I've actually come to realize that you can't really work your side deck specifically for what people say on screen. It's more like you have to run your deck for what your locals runs, because you may have people that run on in a different area that you watch videos for that will actually, that their area, they may have a more predominant, say for this upcoming format, or this past format, one area might have a bigger paleo run than another place, and you don't want to side for a deck that isn't predominantly featured in your area. You want to counter for what you know that most of your local friends and pals are running in their decks. I know at mine right now, definitely seen Ultra Polymerization. I actually had somebody tell me I was going to pull that, or jokingly tell me I was going to pull that. I know at my locals, we've seen quite a few people running Domain Monarch builds, and what's really annoying with that deck is the fact that it shuts down Zoo with their field spell. So unless you can Regeki their cards off the field or tribute over them somehow, you kind of don't really get a whole lot of play out of the deck. So it's definitely better to build a deck to counter what you're seeing at your locals, rather than building a deck to counter what somebody else says they're running against. I myself actually found a card that nobody runs at my locals that counters a lot of the spells and traps that run, like Twin Twister, Domain Monarchs, Union Hanger, that kind of thing. And it's a card that nobody really expects anybody even to have anybody run. This card's another one. I believe this one's actually a 2 of in your deck. Sorry. As far as I know, I believe that's a 2 of in your deck. Yeah, but I definitely, I've come to realize that there was a card out there that was, I guess it's been running some of the older formats. Curse of Forbidden Spell. Honestly, it's a really good card, especially if you're playing a spell heavy deck, because of the fact of what it does. Means that you can counter stuff like Union Hanger. You can counter stuff like the True Draco's card, the new one. You can basically, if they try to play it, you can just counter it. Drop a free spell card from your hand into the grave, activate Cursil, and then basically shut off that card for the entire duel. And if you can do that, especially if it's a crucial card that your opponent needs for their deck to run, such as, say, uh, Domain Monarchs. They need their field spell to prevent you from going into your extra deck, and if you can cancel that out, you can essentially stop them from putting you at a disadvantage. Another Sylvan Sprite Princess, or Princess Sprite. So that's definitely, it works for me. I actually had it actually come in clutch when somebody was trying to Regeki my board, and I actually countered with it, and my opponent, they did not see that coming. And the person playing next to me kind of had the same look on their face, as if like they couldn't believe that I played a card like that. And that's why, like, sometimes you just have to put in a tech that works for you, whether it's meta or not. So last 2 packs. So hopefully, let's see, we've already pulled both of our secrets. Sometimes I get lucky. I know a lot of my luck comes from loose packs when I buy them from like from my work, or from, say, like a Target or something. So, but almost at the end, the very last pack here. Let's see, we're gonna get another Ultra in here. I definitely like watching. I love watching Team Samurai's box openings. I love watching their deck profiles. I also enjoy watching Team Jobber's videos as well. He doesn't post as often as he used to, but yeah, and that'll be the last of it. And like I said, I'm gonna also try to get a new camera so that I can actually record these a lot more frequently and more efficiently. But that is the booster opening for today. This is Dual Crazy signing out.